Welcome to another segment of Cook It. I'm Barbara Thiel, County Home Economist, Cooperative Extension Service. And today on our Cook It program, I'd like to do some things with a wok. Again, a lot of people have appliances. They sit in the pantries, in the garage, in the basement, in a cupboard somewhere, and they don't get used. And they're very, very nice. They're useful. They can give variety to your meals, and it's fun. It's a fun way to go. In fact, today I have an electric wok. And this wok I'm going to plug in could be put right at the table for a cooking little dinner party, and it would be a lot of fun to cook right in front of your guests and then serve. A real unique way. All right, what I'm going to do is heat our wok, and we're going to start using the wok first of all as a stir fry. And we'll take a little bit of oil, just have some vegetable oil here. I'm going to put just a little bit in, swish it around. Don't need a lot of oil, just a little bit so it doesn't stick. And today I'm going to show you, I'm going to put everything in here so you don't have to take things in and out. We're going to put, what we put in here will stay in here. All right, and we're going to start by putting in a couple garlic cloves. And this is the only tool you need. It's a good turner. They cost around $5, but they're well worth it. You can get a smaller one for $3. But if you get a large amount of food in your wok, you'll find that spatulas or whatever will break. And this I've used and reused. It was the best investment. Okay, this wok is heating right up. Let's take a couple garlic cloves and put in for flavoring. Also, I have some fresh ginger root. And ginger root, you know, you can purchase anywhere, just a piece. It is not expensive. Just peel the outside off, just skin it, and then you have this nice fresh ginger. And I'm going to slice a little bit in here while this oil is rapidly heating. And it'll cook up and it'll give a lot of flavor. And it isn't that hot. It gives just a nice flavor to our vegetables. Put that in right at the beginning. And start sizzling here. There we go. As you can see, this is heating and it's starting to sizzle. This is a good hot wok. There you go. And another thing, these woks don't take a lot of care. You just wipe them out, wash them gently, and store them. Oh, the ginger smells so fresh, so good. Then I'll take some onions, and if you use your food processors, it only takes a minute to fix these vegetables. Okay, now you see our oil's hot, it's bubbling, it's going really nice here, getting the ginger flavor, the flavor of the garlic, and again, use as much or as little as you like. All right, we'll put some onion in here. Hear that sizzle? As I mentioned, this is a nice wok. We'll start with the vegetables that take the longest to cook. Just give them a little fry. And contrary to belief, you use your top because your top will get them crunchy, will get them steaming. I'm using raw vegetables today, so I will use the top. If you have a big crowd, you can use pre-cooked vegetables, but it takes a lot more time, and I'd suggest if you pre-cook them to use a steamer or use your microwave to do that because you don't want to just have them all soggy with water. All right, so we got our onion going, and because I'm using raw vegetables, we have some broccoli flowerets all prepared here, and we'll stick some in. They give a lot of pretty color. And these vegetables you can find all year. They're readily available. And it's fun to have a different, interesting combination of foods. Okay, we'll mix those all up. And how about some cauliflower? Put a little cauliflower in. It lends itself well to a stir fry. And because these are all raw, we could put our carrots in here now. Nice shredded carrots. And we also could put the celery in. You see, it doesn't take much to fill the wok. It feeds a lot of people economically, and it's fun. You just have so much to talk about while you're doing this. How pretty it's getting already. Now I'm not going to add any more fat to this. I'm going to steam it, and as it needs a little bit on the bottom so things don't burn, I'll put a little bit of water, just a little bit of water while we're doing this. But I'm not going to cook it. I'm going to give it a steam, because you don't want to cook your vegetables. We don't want to make stew. We want to give it a stir fry. There we go. Oh, they smell so good already. All right, well, let's just put the cover on. And let's see what else we have here. Well, we have some zucchini. Now, zucchini doesn't take long, so let's hold off with the zucchini. Oh, I see we have some cabbage, too. We have some red cabbage. That could go in now. Well, let's wait, because it's shredded quite fine. We have some green cabbage. Cabbage won't take long. We have some mushrooms. Mushrooms will add a lot of flavor to this. So let it go a couple more minutes, and then we'll add more vegetables. If you time them, everything will get done at once. All right, let's see what's going on here. Coming right along. And again, you can cut them as thin or as thick as you like, although you really don't want things too thin. And we're moving right along. I would say we could put our cabbage in here very shortly. It's just a fun way to do things. And we have some red pepper that I took from the garden a while ago, and I froze it. We're going to add red pepper for color. How nice and pretty that is. So let's start and put in some of our cabbage. Red, green. I know a lot of people, they'll look at the red cabbage and they'll say, oh, it's so pretty, but I don't know what to do with it. Just incorporate it in your meals. It really basically tastes the same. It just is a pretty color. See how colorful that makes it? And let's put our mushrooms in here and give it a couple minutes before we put our zucchini in. Now, if you noticed, I haven't put any meat in here. This is a veggie stir fry. But what you could do, if you wanted some meat in here before you started, you could just take a little bit of chicken, slice it thin, give it a little stir fry, then take it out and set it to the side. Like you could just set it on one of these racks. This rack will attach. And just set it over to the side and put some paper towel on and keep it warm. You could take any type of meat. You could take some round steak or sirloin, slice it real thin, brown it. You could use pork, just any type of a meat. Even fish would go fine. Shrimp, any type of a meat you could use. Or if you want to keep it strictly veggie, like we're doing today, we're just going to thicken it with a little chicken broth and a little cornstarch to give it flavor. You could also put a little bit of light soy sauce in there. We have some of that too. Any type of sauce that you'd like. And if you would want, you could put tofu in there. Tofu is excellent. It holds its shape. It's nice and square, nice and firm, and that gives some soy protein. So there's just a big variety of a protein source you could add. And that, again, would be very economical and really nice. Now let's see if our mushrooms are cooking here at all. And see, just that little bit of water just steams them up fine. It steams and fries without getting mushy. See how nice the cauliflower is getting? And the broccoli holding its green. It's a pretty green color. And the carrots are cooking. So you can make a stir fry as economical as you want or as expensive as you want. But it's bound to be delicious, I'll tell you that. Now let's put some zucchini in here. Well, we got a lot of zucchini. Maybe we'll just put in You don't want to overpower it with any one vegetable. Now I'd say it's time to put in some red peppers too, because they're certainly pretty. And you know, when you see things at a bargain, just do what I did. Just freeze them. Cut them in little pieces. So I put them in like Ziploc little bags, and then I put them in Ziploc freezer bags so that they last in the freezer. And then I take out little portions as I want during the year, and I use them. All right, we're just about ready here. Now all we have to do is just heat our veggies. My goodness, look what else I found. I found some nice bean sprouts. Fresh bean sprouts you can purchase all year. And you can just add, they add a lot of flavor, they add a lot of taste. They're really a nice addition. What I think I'm going to do while I'm standing here, I'm going to put the cover on. I'm going to put the bean sprouts in a strainer. And while that's cooking, I'm going to give them a rinse. I really prefer to rinse my fruits and vegetables. It doesn't hurt. So let's give them a quick rinse. There we go. And let's drain it. We'll let them drain for a minute, because even though they're packaged, it's just a good idea. Cold water, just give them a good rinse. It'll crisp them up. It gives you a chance to look through, too, to make sure there's nothing spoiled, because anything spoiled is going to give an off taste, a bad taste. So it really pays to use a little bit of preparation time and go over things. Oh, this is doing very, very well. Okay, well, let's see how our bean sprouts are. And we'll add our bean sprouts. Drained. Give it a little toss. All you want to do is just heat them up. That's why I like to wash them, because you're just going to heat them thoroughly. Now we'll put a little flavoring in. We'll have our chicken stock here. A little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and again the soy. The salt's up to you. Put a little bit more water in here. And that gives the vegetables a little flavor, a little coating. And you can serve this with some nice rice. Some brown rice would be really good. There we go. See how that thickens that up and yet coats them? There we are. And there was a simple, fast, easy stir fry. And this amount, if you saw, was just a little of this and a little of that, would easily serve 8 people. Very generous portions. So I hope that you'll try one of these soon and get that wok out. We're going to do a couple more things with a wok to show you what else you can do so that we get these appliances used. Well, we just completed a wonderfully delicious stir fry, and besides rice, you can serve it with other grains. If you haven't used brown rice, yes, use brown rice, but what about millet? That's an excellent grain. There's all kinds of things. Burger, just go ahead and experiment, and you'll find that it's very tasty. All right, now we learned all the basics on a stir fry. What else can we do with this wok? How about a pudding? Did you ever think of using one for a bread pudding? Well, you can. We're going to make one and show you, but before I do that, set it all up, I'd also like to show you, you have a little rack that comes with your wok. And what this little rack does is you put it on the side, and you use that for frying. And you put about 2 inches of oil right in the center of your wok if you're going to use it for a deep fat fryer. That's about 3 to 4 cups, depending how large your wok is. Now, I probably could use about 1 quart in this wok because it's a large one. Another advantage of this wok is it's electric. It has a good heating system, so I could get the heat I wanted. If you can't, put a fryer thermometer in there, a deep fat frying thermometer, and get your temperature. You fry, put your food on the right up here on the rack. It'll drain. It'll keep hot. So that's another way you can use your wok. You can also make popcorn. If you have a nice big dome lid, it's a great popcorn popper. So that'll work well too. Now I'm going to use the wok for a steamer. And when you use it for a steamer, you take your rack that comes with it, you put it in here, and then we're going to put water to about a 1/2 inch from the rack, so we get a nice head of steam. And for our bread pudding, we could use a round pan, we could use a square pan, just anything so that the top will come and fit tight so that it'll steam. So I chose this Pyrex, and the first step is I'm going to grease it for my bread pudding. All right, and then I'm going to start to heat this up. I'm going to put it on low right now so it starts heating. And then I'm going to start with the pudding. And for our pudding over here, we're going to prepare 3 cups of bread cubes. Now I might be a little bit short, so I'll make more if I want to. And I'm going to just take 3 eggs. You could use 2 to 3 eggs, depending how large of a pudding you're going to bake. If you'd like today's recipes too, if you just send a self-addressed envelope to the Cooperative Extension Service, I'll be glad to mail them to you. And we'll just beat our egg a little bit here. Use a whisk, use a fork, whatever you feel comfortable with. And we're going to put in a couple cups of milk. And that's our custard base. And we'll put a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon. If you're a measuring person, I'd use about 1/8 of a teaspoon, about maybe 1/2 of cinnamon, depending what you like. You might like allspice, a little bit of mace is good, a little bit of cinnamon in here because this is an apple bread pudding and we're going to use applesauce. So that's our base with about 1/2 cup sugar. Just a little sugar to sweeten it. You don't need much sugar because we're going to have raisins, and even though it's unsweetened applesauce, it still is sweet. So what we're going to do, I think I'll just slide this wok over here so you can see me for a minute, is I'm going to put the bread cubes on the bottom. And it should be firm bread. Bread not real fresh, just it's great to save your bread scraps. Just save them and use them. And we're going to put them on the bottom all over, get a nice pudding base, because like I mentioned, we can cut more. There we go. And then we're going to take a can of applesauce. We're going to put our applesauce right over the top and spread it out. This is just nice unsweetened applesauce. You can make homemade applesauce when apples are in, if you have spare apples, or if you froze some applesauce or canned it. Good way to use it up. And just spread it around the edges. And then we're going to take some raisins because they're nice and sweet and they add a lot to a bread pudding. Raisins are great. I know a lot of people say, oh, I haven't had an apple pudding since my grandmother made one. So it's about time. And you know, they're very nutritious too, because when you look, you have bread, you have fruit, you have iron from the raisins, you have protein from the eggs, from the milk. It really is a good nutritional dish. It could even be like a luncheon dish. It doesn't always have to be dessert. It's very, very good. All right, we're going to put the milk on the top. Could use a little bit larger pan. So I'll let that soak up a little bit. It'll go in just fine though. There we go. That bread's nice and old. There, I just want to get it in there because it's got a lot of goodies in there. Okay, and then I'm going to top it with some more bread. Let it soak up a minute. And we'll put some more bread on the top. Just turn this inside out. And then when you use a steamer, you're going to have to cover that with foil, your dish with foil, because if you don't cover it, the steam will come down. So we're going to have to cover this with foil. And then after it's covered with foil, what I'm going to do is I'll just put it right in here like this and set it down. It sets nice and firm. As you can see, that is good and firm, but it's going to have the foil on. And then I'll put the cover on and let it steam for about 45 minutes till a knife comes out clean. And then we have, wait, I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to move it right back over here so that you can see. I'm sorry about that. And it fits right in there, and it'll have the foil on it. And it's going to steam 45 minutes, and then when a knife inserted into the pudding comes out clean, there you are. You have a nice bread pudding. Like I mentioned, it's a good nutritional food. It really is. So I hope you learned some new uses for your wok today. You'll have a lot of fun using them. It's a nice new way to serve people, to entertain. And this has been Barbara Thiel, County Home Economist, with another segment of the Cook It Show.